So we're at book 9. Hiccup and the rest of the tribes are climbing up Angry Mountain. Yes, that's its actual name. At the top of the mountain, they're going to compete in a sword fighting tournament where Flashburn's school of sword fighting resides. As part of Viking tradition, Hiccup and his peers have to climb the mountain the hard way. During their camping, they are attacked by rogue dragons at night. Dragon Furious is leading a rebellion in which he wants to start a revolution and free the dragons from their slavery. Yeah, I kind of spoke prematurely when I said that the dragons were already integrated. Whoops. My bad. They arrive at Flashburn's school. Flashburn himself is missing, and instead we get reintroduced to Excelinor the Witch, who's come back for vengeance. Excelinor has taken over the sword fighting competition. The witch wants to make a political power grab, so she makes a gamble, and the winner gets to be the king of the Wilder West. The Vikings are superstitious, so they agree to the binding blood oath and agree to the gamble. In spite of the first third of the book being a bit weak, in my opinion, I think that the rest of the book pays off the setup of the last 8 previous books. I like the return of some background characters like One Eye the Dragon and Thuggery the Meathead. Wish we had seen more of One Eye and Thuggery because I think they're kind of likable characters. If you're a fan of Stoic's character, then I'm sorry, but I think that he does some character regression here. But in the end, I think I like where they're going to take his character. I think the sequence under the well and the fire pit sequence are great, minus Flashburn. I think the lead up to these sequences, however, are kind of dumb and aggravating because the people of Berk are just so stupid. I'm sorry, but just they were suckered by this gamble and they just took it hook, line, and sinker. It's hard to have any sympathy for them when they're just so gullible and they're also pretty obstinate. As a result, Excelinor just doesn't seem as competent or as cerebral a villain as she could have been. Excelinor's champion also looks dull by comparison because, well, Excelinor outshines him. I called Snotlout being an opportunist and a traitor, and I frickin' feel vindicated. I think they could have done more with Flashburn's character. I like his hero syndrome sort of psychosis. He feels undermined as a character, and yeah, I feel he's justified in that. I just don't want to rush to hating characters. At this point in the story, Hiccup has hit his growth spurt, and he has evolved as a character, and I appreciate that. I want to see how the Dragon Furious' Dragon Rebellion progresses. I think he's a justified and sympathetic villain. I like the payoff of the Vorpant Venom from Book 4, as well as the Outcast's tattoo from Book 7. I like that Hiccup is stepping up, taking leadership. I also appreciate the breaking of the status quo. I like how Fishlegs demonstrates friendship in this story. Oh yeah, the tongue twisters are actually horrifying.